July 15th, we have a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved. Second.
Motion second, any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Financial report and payment of the bills. We have a motion
So moved.
Second.
and a second. Any discussion on the financial report? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, we have some special guests in here tonight. We've got the folks from, VYBE Realty. Are you here?
That's right.
All right, very good. So listen, we'd like to give you a proclamation. We didn't make the ribbon cutting tonight,
It's okay.
but we've got a proclamation from the team here, and I'd like to read it off if I could.
Please.
All right, very good. And your name?
Steve.
Steve. In recognition of the official grand opening and ribbon cutting ceremony commemorating the establishment of new real estate office dedicated to professionalism, client service, and community engagement, VYBE Realty is celebrated for its commitment to excellence, market expertise, and its investment in strengthening the local economy and supporting residents, families, and businesses. Presented on this day, the 5th day of August, 2026, in honor of VYBE Realty's entrepreneurial spirit, dedicated and quality, and contributions to the continued growth and vitality of the community. With congratulations and best wishes, signed by the mayor and commissioners on the board. We'll hand this to you, and let's take a quick picture. Let's get over here. We're right behind it. We'll get everyone to stand here behind us, if we could.
We also great name.
And we're gonna present you with some of our challenge points for some of your team here.
Awesome.
It's our, they're not get out of free jail card.
Noted.
Okay, is everyone ready?
Awesome.
All right.
Very much. Hey, appreciate this.
Right, glad to have a new business.
Glad to be here. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Is there anything you wanna say about your business? We'll give you a second.
Yeah, so Vibe Realty is the company. We're a local, central Maryland-based real estate brokerage focused on residential, and investing space. We're happy to be here in Cecil County, and we're very community-based, want to give back to the community, very collaborative, and looking forward to playing a flag here and representing the county in the best light.
Thank you.
Very well.
Very nice. Okay. Earl, thank you for representing us today.
Yeah.
Earl forgot the presentation, but it's okay. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming.
Well, thank you.
Okay, we have a presentation from the Maryland Opioid Restitution Fund, ORF, Voices of Hope's planned, distribution of the town's legal settlement funds, and Aaron Wright. Aaron, you're gonna do a presentation for us?
Sure.
And who you got with you tonight?
I have Kim Hand here. She is our mommy and me house for women, for pregnant
Hi.
and women with children. She's the manager.
Very good.
Give me 1 second.
Everybody see my screen? Yes. Okay, wonderful. So thank you, Mayor and Commissioners and Administration and community members. My name is Aaron Wright. I'm the General Programs Manager for Voices of Hope. As you know, we do run 3 recovery houses here in the town, right there in the Heights, 1 for men, 1 for women, and 1 for women and children. Out of the now 71 employees that we have and operate in 2 counties, 69 of us are individuals in recovery from substance use and recurring disorders. We wanted to kind of come out today and present kind of what we do, is specializing on the recovery houses only. And again, please feel free to interrupt if any questions or comments at any time. So Voice of Hope is a nonprofit 501c3. We're the largest peer recovery community in the state of Maryland. Our vision is a world where everyone affected by substance use disorder finds hope, healing, and a supportive community. So what exactly do we do? As I mentioned previously, we have 3 houses. The men's house currently holds 8 occupants. The women's house currently holds 8 occupants, and the pregnant women or women with children, as we refer as the mommy and me, holds 10. Now that 10 also does count littles. So currently, I believe we have 4 adults, correct, and 6 children. So it's a packed house. So how do we do it? So we are MCOR certified. MCOR is a state credential, meaning that we've been accredited and approved through a lengthy process to receive somewhat of state funds, which means that the residents in our houses can receive up to 2 weeks and or 4 weeks worth of funding through the state through an application process. There are requirements through that process, but they can't just stay there, get the funding, leave, come back, get more funding. Like I think it's within a year, they can only receive it one time, and that may be able to renew an additional year. Safe supportive housing, we are peer supported 24/7. So Kim here is at our mommy and me house, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. We have 3 other what we call recovery house peers, and they are 7 days a week, usually from 8 to 7 p.m. But again, since we do have a 24/7 center, that's about 40 peers here, they are supported in that process. Kind of how we do that as well is we have house monitors. And house monitor is the senior resident of the house that makes sure individuals are signing in, signing out, kind of keeping an eye on things. If they kind of catch some smoke, if you will, they kind of alert us, and then we kind of step in and if we're not over there. So recovery and financial planning. So we help individuals in the recovery community that want to stay at our residence, and forgive the phrase, pretty much learn how to live life on life's terms, if that makes sense, right? I know that, there were instances where I needed to learn how to take a shower every day. How do I get my license back? How do I do a checking account? So here's where we kind of really surround the individuals, because here's where they really learn to live life without the use of drugs, right? And a lot of those individuals, it's like losing a best friend, if you will. That was their only coping mechanism. They might not have had jobs for years. They don't have a driver's license. They don't have a bank account. They might be in financial disarray. They might be just as involved, right? So they kind of have to overcome a lot of the hurdles. And here's where we kind of surround them. Now, what I will say is that we thought this process would be about 9 months long. Boy, were we wrong, right? So the average stay in some of our residents is about 1.5 years, almost 2 years. And that kind of told us, like, hey, even though we're in recovery ourselves, we thought it would be a little bit quicker process, but again, it's their process, so we have to have an individual's process that can take 6 months up to 2 years for those individuals to be financially stable, what we call recovery capital stable, emotionally stable, to go out there and be productive members of society. Family reunification. So we do have a family peer support specialist. The individuals at our houses might have lost their kids. They might not have great relationships with their parents, right? Loved ones, whatever the case may be. So we do have one family support specialist where we begin that process. Sometimes the family members are like, hey, you hurt me, you stole money, you did this. And our interpreter, if you will, our family peer support specialist says, hey, you have done so many things and they're hurt and they don't trust you. So how do we kind of continue this process with you understanding that it might take time to repair this relationship? We do work with Judy Center, the Judy Center Youth Empowerment Source, Child Protective Services, especially when it comes to the littles. So we're in the process of getting also credentialed to be, I guess, one of those safe visiting spots for individuals, for moms, let's say, and or dads to reunify with their kids and get custody. Trauma support specialist. Sorry, you can't see well on our screen, it's okay. So we do have 1 male and 1 female trauma support specialist. So this is something that we give freely to not only our residents, but all of our staff. So we know that being individuals in recovery, that sometimes we've had a lot of trauma, past experience that we have to work through. So that is also open to our recovery house residents and or immediate family members if needed. Any questions there on how to do it?
Would you go back over the trauma specialist
Sure.
support?
So they are certified trauma specialists, 1 male, 1 female, because we don't know, some females prefer to work with a female, some males prefer to work with a male. They're called TT and Scott. They are licensed here in the state of Maryland, and we pay for that. So we have applied for a trauma grant to provide not only that service for any individual who's employed by Voices of Hope, but also covers our recovery house residents as well. Yeah, so usually it's about an hour session weekly. If they need more, they can do more, but it's usually about an hour. Great question. Okay, why we do this? So every Sunday, this is a picture of our women's house. We have a 16-person table. So that is individuals in our recovery houses and their family members. So every Sunday,
No, it's one Sunday a month.
one Sunday a month. One Sunday a month, we have all of the residents of all three houses and their family members have a big dinner at the house. Just try to show the camaraderie, get connected again, and to show that people are not alone, and try to break bread, because sometimes we know with family members, just seeing how people interact in the community after being in recovery can really speak volumes instead of just saying, I'm doing great, Mom, I'm doing great, Dad, when they get to see it, right? It's a totally different picture. So, the events that we do, this was Dancing with the Princesses. This was for our Mom Mimi residents. These are two young girls that were dancing with princesses. We try to get the community, the recovery community integrated in other community events, and as well as the community integrated into the recovery events, just to show the collaboration and the support. Oops. Sorry about that. This one was at Finish Line Farm. It's in Rising Sun. I forget the name, Miss Meredith, I forget the name of the road. But Finish Line Farm does a lot of family-friendly events. So we took all of our recovery house residents and their kids over there, and they got to ride the mini ponies. They got to see the ducks, the geese, the goats, the cats, the dogs, and just have a bonding moment outside of what we would consider a recovery supportive environment, right? And that meant a lot to the kids. And also I think the adults had fun too. Here's another picture of that. Now they're on horseback, kind of learning how to ride horses. Here is one, they did a trip to, is this Baltimore?
Yeah, that's right.
Baltimore Aquarium, where we had some of our residents and kids. So, this is Jess. She, was in the process of staying at our women's house, and she was in the process of actually losing her kids, and she did not have a supportive environment. She was with us for about a year and a half. And through the support and the dedication that the team kind of surrounded her, she now has custody of those kids, and we'll get to what happened to her later, but she was our first Mommy and Me resident, with her two littles right there. Okay, and this was the grand opening. For some reason it's not. Okay, our impact. Our impact is, man, we have really loved not only the support that the town has given us, the county has given us, all the stakeholders and providers, the families. Really, we can't be more grateful for all the support you have given us. And in lieu of that, we had our grand opening for the Mommy and Me house there, and it really meant the world to a lot of us. I know, Erin, pictured up there on the left, you know, she was, 10 years ago, she was homeless with her 1-year-old daughter, our daughter, Riley. And there was really no place to go. So now that we have the Mommy and Me house, now there's a place for those individuals, you know, especially moms with littles, can go. So on the picture on the left, you'll see in the bottom middle there, sitting next to Jen Turk, that is Emma. And to the right, that is Julian and their little one, Bradley. Emma and Julian were both graduates of, if you will, there's no really graduation ceremony, but they both graduated from a recovery house, got an apartment together, are engaged to get married, and now they have a child of their own, which is Emma is holding there in the bottom left. So it just kind of goes through full circle. Oh, and they're both employed at Voice of Hope, by the way. So it just kind of goes full circle about what this process can do for individuals and their loved ones. So that is Jess. Jess was a graduate. That's her two littles that she got custody of, and that's Jake in the background there. He's also, not to say that we're playing matchmaking, but he also graduated from our program, and now they have a house also in the Heights. And to the right, those are three individuals that just recently graduated, or I guess completed the program about 2 months ago?
Yep.
About 2 months ago, and that they have their own place. So we try to take individuals with substance use disorder co-occurring, especially our 95-ish% of our, for opioids, and we just try to wrap around them and get them to productive members of society where they can find meaning and purpose, and then find their way in life. So a little bit of the data. This is only 2025 specific. So we've had 27 women, we've had 12 men. Discharges, now I'll just kind of go over the brief definitions of it. Permanent housing means that they got their own housing, they got their own apartment, they bought their own house. We consider that permanent housing, or someone who's discharged to that process. Permanent supportive housing, meaning they went to a lower level of recovery housing. Just so everyone's aware, our kind of recovery housing structure maybe falls in the middle. We're not so strict where there's like a 30-day blackout, you can't work, can't have a car, and we're not like, hey, just show up, pay rent, and make sure you get your meetings. We consider ourselves right in the middle, or right to the left, if you will. So permanent supportive housing, meaning they went to another recovery housing with less support because they felt they needed that. Voluntary discharges, these are individuals that might have went back to family members or whatever needed to kind of go there to get custody of their kids. So they did complete, but we didn't feel they had all the support structure yet, but they just said, hey, we gotta go, it's just time. We said, okay. Involuntary discharges, meaning that individuals that might have, relapsed or put on a behavioral health contract and weren't meeting that, showing up late, not going to the meetings, not participating in our programs, kind of being disruptive to the conducive environment, that's an involuntary discharge.
So it appears that your percentage is about 50%, which is
Correct.
pretty phenomenal.
Yes, yes. And I think it's kind of going up, especially seeing the numbers now. But you would be correct, Mayor. It's about 50% of the individuals that go through that process. What we consider are back out productive members of society. So we want to thank you guys. I know you guys have spent a lot of team deliberating the town. Tyler, Donna, I want to thank you guys as well for all the things that you have done. It means a lot. I can't tell you what it means to the people in the house to know that the town supports them, the county supports them, and that they are accepted in the community once again. I can't speak enough about the appreciation and the gratitude that they have. So we'll be happy to answer any questions, or if you have any specific.
So after you provide the help that you have, and we have seen that on the screen, evidently you must have a very good follow-up program because you've already discussed where they go and what they do afterwards. So you have a person specific to your program that follows these individuals up, or is there a relationship where they keep in contact with you so you know what's going on?
Great question, Commissioner Gibbons. So what I will say is that the recovery community is so tight around here, so I can't go to Rita's in Elkton, get a cherry gelato, right, and drive to Northeast without everybody saying, hey, Aaron, tell us that cherry gelato. So it's very tight. When we ingrain individuals in the recovery community, they are literally ingrained. It's hard for someone to fall off the radar. If they fall off the radar, that usually signals to us, oh crap, something's wrong, if that makes sense. So during this process, since we are also credentialed to give the certification to become certified peer recovery specialist or community health worker within the state, we have even broadened that reach that if they even leave the county, somehow if they want to get in this behavioral health field or in the recovery community at large, we get a ping, if you will. So we do stay in touch that way, but technically we're not reaching out. We just kind of keep an eye on if that makes sense. Yeah. Now, we do have alumni. So once a year, we have our alumni that's coming up. We have our crab feast, annual crab feast for all Voice of the Hope employees, family members, and alumni can come attend. We're having it at Northeast Elkton State Park. Yeah, this coming Saturday. So all alumni are welcome. Now, what we do kind of, Charles, we don't have like a specific reach out. I'm sorry, Commissioner Gibbons. We don't have a specific reach out, but what we do is we try to have the alumni come and speak. We have one speaker come up once a month to speak to the new residents about how and what they did and how they got where they are, and answer any questions that the new residents might be like, hey, did you stick it out? Did it suck? You know what I mean? All that kind of stuff. So yeah.
So we collect about $11,000 or $12,000 a year through the Maryland Fund. And we have, if we accumulated, what's the amount that I think we've collected over $100,000 over the X amount of years. We give a lot to our police department to work some of the programs, but my understanding is they have a couple projects that you and Don went and took a look at that might be worthwhile to helping out here, or is that?
Yes, that's correct. All of what you said, it started in 2022 when the state formed this fund, and all of the Maryland state various legal settlements against all of the distributors and makers of the opioid drugs pay to the state. They all go into the ORF, the Opioid Recovery Fund, and then that fund is distributed to municipalities. Elkton's allotment in that has totaled just over $100,000 since 2022. Then going forward, we receive, on average, it's a little over $11,000 a year over the next 12 years, goes through 2038. It's on a declining annual allocation. So next year, for example, is about 14,000. The final year, 2038, is something like a 6,000 that we get that year. So it goes down every year. We get a little bit less from it over time. And Voices of Hope, Aaron, and the other Aaron with an E, were nice enough to take Don and I through a tour of all three houses here in town, the men's house, the women's house, and the mother children's house. And we got to talk to the residents there, which I was very impressed by just the feel of the facilities. Because some of these homes in this community were not in the greatest of shape. Aaron described to us when they came in, and they've done a lot, Voices of Hope has, to try to improve the aesthetics of these facilities as well, on the outside, but now they're looking inside too, on what can be done on the inside of the homes. And they identified several projects that, for them would be the highest priority, I guess, for the town to assist with. Now, what Aaron explained to us too, when we were going through, is it's relatively not difficult for them to get funding sources for certain types of expenditures, like payroll, to have staff or to get supplies. But one of the things they have a lot more difficulty obtaining is just simple repairs and maintenance, to fund those kind of things for these houses.
Okay.
So when they have electrical problems or, problems with the plumbing or those kind of things. So there were 4 projects that Voice of Hope had identified for us that we feel that we can certainly fund in this fiscal year. 3 of them are in the men's house, and 1 of them is in the mother and children's house.
When are you gonna present that to us?
The email that I sent out earlier this week had the detail of the projects.
Yeah.
And we can present that at the next meeting if you'd like.
You guys feel comfortable with that?
I do, yeah.
The total of those projects is just short,
44,000?
just short of 45,000, I believe was the total that it came in at. And we saw exactly what these projects are when we toured the facilities, and they all need to be done. The fence and things it's in a pretty bad state right now, and there's not really much of the original fence left. They are in the backyard in the men's house. The men's kitchen is not really equipped or oriented in a way that would be useful for how they're using it. And then we saw some of the electrical issues in the mothers and children's home as well. So,
Well, listen, I appreciate you guys going over, and I'm sure the invitation is open for any member from the board that would want to go over and take a look.
Absolutely.
So we'll have it'll be presented at next meeting, and let's see if we can help.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, our acting town administrative report, and I think there's a few people in the room will probably want to talk about the water rate increase being presented for introduction today. And I will allow everyone, we're gonna do it a little bit differently. Anyone that wants to speak tonight in regards to this introduction, I'm gonna have Al Wine's gonna explain it a little bit to us, what we went through to get to where we're at. The board's gonna discuss it a little bit, and before I introduce it, I'm gonna let every member who wants to say something good, bad, or indifferent about the water rate increase, but maybe we might be able to answer your questions before we get to that point. So Al, you wanna tell us how we got to this point? And
Yeah, I'll start out, Mayor, and Tyler will provide more detail after a minute. Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. For introduction this evening are proposed adjustments to the town's water rates that have been recommended by our consultant, New Gen Strategies, and those recommendations were presented to the board at your July 15th meeting. As you probably recall, their report detailed recommended rates for FY 2027 through FY 2031, and they developed a model to project expenses and revenues over a 10-year time frame of FY 2027 through FY 2036. It was also the recommendation that the town should complete another update, to the projections in 2031 to update the model with actual results. And then to develop specific rates for the period from 2032 through FY 2036. For FY 2027 through FY 2031, and concurrent with the consultant's recommendation, the proposed ordinance before you tonight reflects that the current water and sewer rates shall be increased annually by 4% and 0% respectively. That's 4% annual, a 4% annual increase for water rates and a 0% increase for sewer over that same time period, which was 2027 to FY 2031. The rate study further noted that in comparison with similar sized municipal service areas in Maryland, and for a typical residential user using 12,000 gallons per quarter, Elkton's proposed bill of $68 and current bill of $65 at the lower end of the spectrum based on those municipalities comparable in size to the town of Elkton.
Can you say that again?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah, I think we're showing, what I'm seeing here is at $50.64.
The proposed water was 68.
Huh?
Current 65. That's based on 12,000 gallons. A 12,000 gallon typical quarterly bill. Water rate.
That's above minimum tier.
Above the
Yeah,
minimum.
Yeah, it's above the 9,000. So it is at the lower spectrum based on what they said was a typical quarterly residential bill based on a customer with 12,000 gallons per quarter.
So our average, water we bill out's about 12,000 per household is what it works out, you're saying?
Yes.
And give me that increase from what to what?
Current is 65, proposed would be 68.
65 to 68, okay.
It's staff's recommendation today to introduce the ordinance, this evening with, adoption possibly being considered at the August 12th meeting. Tyler can elaborate a little further on some of the detail, regarding the consultant's recommendations.
So that's $3 a quarter,
On average, yes.
Yeah.
$3 per quarter,
Based on,
bill.
yeah,
$1 a month.
based on a 12,000 gallons per quarter.
And then the study itself was, to, take into account the capital projects that will be necessary. There's a couple of, major capital project initiatives on the drinking water side. One is the Well 3, rehabilitation project, which includes a PFAS treatment
Right.
being added to that well. The second one is the drinking water, the surface water treatment plant itself. So there's a rehabilitation project of that, partially funded by a state bondo conversion that we did, but the water study had taken into account a portion that's not funded, already funded by the bondo conversion. So that rehabilitation includes a number of things, which is basically to replace equipment. And then the structure itself has some issues with the roof, things like that, that need to be either upgraded or rehabilitated. The cost of all of those had to be taken into account. Of course, how does the town pay for those and maintain financial viability and the water operational funds? So these rate increases were designed to allow the town to have enough funding for those projects without having to dip into other sources or basically eat it as a loss essentially year over year. So provide funding or build up the funding necessary to cover the cost of those projects. One thing of note in the study is currently there is already debt that the town incurred on the wastewater side. But that debt is going to be retired next year, and that's largely why the sewer rate is not having to increase is the combination of that and the fact that the capacity increase that's going to be needed in sewer falls outside of this 5-year horizon. So that won't even really start to be something the town will have to think about financing until 2031. And that will be going forward beyond 2031. So the capacity issue for water is expected to happen sooner than it's expected to happen in sewer. That's why the sewer rate is not being affected, only the water rate is being affected in this. So the total bill as allocated to the 12,000 gallon mark was the average residential bill, was for that level of usage. And year over year, because the one component of the total bill is increased, which is the water rate, is increasing by 4% year over year. The sewer rate, however, is staying the same. So when you look at it in a total bill amount, from a total bill amount perspective, in year one, it's about 1.2% increase in the total bill. So going from $209.88 to $212.48. For that tier 2, just above the minimum tier.
So we just recently also had a rate increase from Artesian for the interconnects that we have with Artesian, and that has been calculated into this also.
That's correct, yes.
And, you know, I look at this and to our residents, we're at $5.63 per 1,000 gallons. We're getting charged from Artesian $6 and ballpark number?
38.
$6. You want to be precise.
They're gonna have anything.
$6.38. So we have, we're doing our best to subsidize the whole mix. And something that I didn't know until I got back involved a few years ago was that when you're a municipality over 10,000 people, your state requires you to have a 25% backup, just in case there was a hiccup. I mean, we had the cryptosporadium hiccup that we had, and if we weren't able to have that backup, and that backup being pulled through Artesian, it could have put us in a little bit more of a, I'm gonna say a little bit of a pickle. But you have to provide a 25% backup for that amount of water. And really, the safest way is to be able to have interconnects with other water companies. So we do our best to subsidize that side of it. Is there any questions from the board before I ask any resident if they have any questions or any comments?
I just want to make it clear, I know that the 9,000 is what we get charged as a resident, and you're using the 12,000 as a cap for the higher end, right? But
Average.
average, okay. So, but I mean, we're being charged for using 9,000, right?
The minimum, that's correct.
Okay, because I want to make sure that's clear, because just listening to what you said, I wasn't sure what I was being charged for. I do know that been years and years, I've always fought against raising water rates, and I know I'd say 20 years at least, but I know eventually we're gonna come to this point where the state demands certain amount of increases on your, what you call it? Improvements on it. Thank you. I may think something like maybe improvements on the facility. And I just have to say that this is by the time I think we go ahead and add it in with the cost that Artesian's been hit with. So I think it's a good idea. That's all I have to say.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I have to agree with Commissioner Piner. You know, when we raise rates, which we are very reluctant to do, you gotta remember, we're raising them on ourselves as well. We're all homeowners, business owners, and we are going to incur that increase as well. But seeing and hearing everything on this side, we can totally see the need for it, or we're gonna be digging ourselves in a hole. When I say we, I mean us, I mean every citizen in this town. We have to cover these costs. This is a minor increase, much as I hate it. I think we have to do it. It's been coming for some time.
Yeah, you asked. Oh, one other thing I wanted to bring up. The last time we spoke about this, I mentioned if there's any way we could possibly, if we meet the demand that they asked us for the cost. And a year, 2 years, we're above or at that level. Is there anything we can do to put this back into our residents' pocket instead of just because we raised it, then we leave it? There's gotta be something, an alternative at the end. If we, our new developments come on and they start to add more to it, not just one person gets rich, we want us all to get rich together. So we wanna think of that as, a little cushion after we start paying this extra $2 or $3 or whatever. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, yeah, and we did talk about that, the last time this was introduced, and it is certainly possible. I mean, we all know a lot can change in 5 years. This is a 5-year plan, but a lot can change in just 1 or 2 years. As we've seen, I don't think anybody predicted last year we'd be where we are right now in the state of world affairs. But it definitely can be revisited in a year, 2 years. Probably, it wouldn't be something you want to do maybe in year 1, but maybe in the second year. If enough new development comes online, we increase the customer base by more than what we expected to in the planning of this study. We might be able to draw back the level of increase, that is necessary in, say, years 3 and 4 and 5.
I would agree with that. I think the more users we have, it could bring that down. I feel pretty comfortable with that. Charlie, any comments, or Dean?
No, I'm pretty much in agreement, basically with what Earl has said. We've tried over and over and over through the years to make it comfortable for everybody, but it gets to a point where this you got to rob Peter to pay Paul, and I guess at this point we'll see what happens, because again, you talk about the years, you never know what may happen from point A, point B.
I don't wanna say there's to point any fingers, but I know about 9 years ago, we reduced the water and sewer rates for the town by 15%. And we did that, and we actually put them up to where they're at today from that last increase we had. So what we did at that time is we found ourselves with a overabundant amount of reserve in our water fund and our sewer fund. And we felt it was time to give back to the residents, but everyone forgets about those 9 years we had at a 15% deduction on water and sewer. And then they got raised a year and a half ago, and it did increase. And the hope would be that you build this reserve up again, and then you're able to give it back to the residents during that period of time, and that's what we're kind of looking at. Currently, right now, our water fund is actually operating at a small loss.
Operationally at a small loss, but overall, actually at a small gain.
And our wastewater is operating at and the goal is to be able to operate at a break even, but you also have to be able to build yourself some sort of surplus. So that was our discussion, but anyone have anything to say, come on down, or just stand up, tell me your name and address, and give us your input. We're looking at, if we move forward with this, it'll be about $1.30 increase. Yes, ma'am. Please stand and tell your name and address, please.
Julie Green, 605 Maryland Avenue.
Thank you.
Heights. I use about 4,000 of the water. So is there a way to lower the minimum? Because that's 5,000 extra gallons of water that I'm paying for that I don't use.
You're spot on. There's when we do the studies and the studies come out, they give us about 4 or 5 different methods that we can go by. And on average, now that I'm a senior citizen along with my gang up here, I would like to prefer to pay by the gallon because I'm way under 9,000 gallons, my wife and I. If you do that, then the price per gallon for all the residents are gonna go up. And as you heard, the average is like 12, and it's a shame that maybe it should go the other way, that we support the lesser amount of users, because they are paying for water you're not using. But it's a good point. We can take another look at that.
But you're really not, because it's, the final cost is based on that usage, right, of 9,000.
It's based on 9 and she's
It's
using
not
4.
based.
I'm
yeah, but
using
if you-
7.
If you calculate, so I'm under 2, I'm by myself, you know,
Mhm.
I get it. But if you use a different calculation,
It
that's
raises,
gonna change everything, so at some point you have to come in at a minimum, I would imagine, no matter what.
well, I think over the years, we've decided that that's been the best strategy to have that minimum amount. And I think
Yeah,
that's the norm across most municipalities,
Like
but it's well noted.
if we reduced it to 5,000, we'd probably end up having to charge you the same thing. I know it doesn't sound feasible, but that's the way I go.
I find it hard that I am a family of 1. And my best friend's a family of 5, and they pay $20 more than I do.
That's hard, well,
Why, how?
yeah, because it's not per gallon.
It's a
You're- It's a percentage, it's a calculation. Can you help me here? a little bit? Because I don't know if I'm getting my point across.
Maybe
Tyler, you can answer that.
Maybe we could count as a simple program, maybe 6
It-
months if you
I'm Julie, I'm with you, I'm with family of 1 too.
reduce your water, to 25%, you can get a kickback after 6 months. You can go for a
Yeah,
program.
the minimum, approach is a widely used, methodology for municipal public systems. The idea behind it essentially is you're trying to set, a minimum usage rate, because you have to, run distribution lines, maintain distribution lines, things like that. So you try to set a minimum at a point where it funds operationally the cost of your operation.
Regardless.
So to some extent, yes, for the lower users, you're to some extent subsidizing the rates for everyone. Because you're paying for a certain minimum level of usage, even though you don't use that amount. But the ones that use over that
Yeah.
amount, their rate is a little bit
I
lower
was gonna
because
say,
you're paying for
But
that.
people who use a lot of, or their rates are a lot higher,
That's true,
right?
because we have
They're a
tiered
lot
rates.
higher. They're not paying the same as Julie and I are.
Yeah,
No, it's
right.
$20 more.
No, the people that are way up here are using a lot. I'm not talking about your neighbor. So in
They're
essence,
per
the
unit.
two come
Yeah.
together to create the cost to run the plant, to pay for everything, to make it happen, the infrastructure, all of that. So I would imagine it's based more on the fact that it's operational cost more than it is per gallon cost.
I would agree with that comment.
Does that make sense?
So our rates, the way that they work currently is we have a rate for up to 9,000 gallons is the minimum. And then after that, it's, there's an additional, I would say $5.63 per 1,000 gallons that you use after that, up to 30,000 gallons. And then once you get over 30,000 gallons, you actually go into a higher rate, which takes you to like $6.62
These
at a higher rate. So
large companies, car washes, all that are actually keeping our costs down.
they do. They truly do.
They're keeping, our costs at the minimum. But at some point, you have to have that starting point of usage.
Yeah, I was just saying lower it.
I
Yeah.
understand.
We just
Yeah.
lowered it a little bit.
It's been noted. It's
Yeah.
been noted. Anyone else have anything? Yes, ma'am. Please state your name and address.
Hey, I'm Catherine Kelly Leary. I live at 178 TJT in Patriotsville. I have a few questions. I'm going to rocket through them real quick. I moved here 3.5 years ago from Atlanta. I pay more than double for my water here, and I put a $10,000 water filtration system in my home as a result of that. Next Gen Strategies is a public affairs organization, so they're really here about kind of ensuring that, that the message that gets out is important. What I'm not hearing here, okay, cool, you can charge me more every month. Fortunately, my family right now can handle it. My question is what's being done to improve the actual quality of the water? Are we working with the same vendor at this point? Because as of right now, we rank 107 out of 107 in towns in the state of Maryland for water quality. We get a grade of F from the EPA, which has kind of been abolished by the feds right now. So what's our plan to improve the water? I'm happy to pay more if I get better water.
Well, listen, those are very valid points, and I will tell you, up till we just had this one little hiccup in November and December of last year, we were always the blue ribbon.
I'm not, I don't mean to discount you, but you can go online and I looked before this meeting because.
Are you looking at the town of Elkton?
What's that?
Town of Elkton or Elkton?
Town of Elkton. 15,000 residents. I can pull up the study right now going back to 2017.
Well, I'd like to look at that because I've never seen this. Are you guys aware of any of this?
No.
But she
Yeah, I mean, based on what I'm finding from my research,
Yes.
the towns, I'm sorry, I don't like, but the towns studies are showing that the water quality is fine. The actual research, the people behind that's not accurate,
What
so.
were the people behind again?
The Environmental Protection Agency. You know, the federal.
Yeah, I know who they are, I'm sure we'd be hearing from them. if there was
Well, I mean, they've been abolished right now, but I'm happy to send the info, so, but it doesn't, none of that really matters, I'll send the info, but my question is what's being done to improve the water quality? There's PFAS in the water, and then the regulations at the federal level have been lifted, so everybody in this room, we all care about our families. I chose to move here and invest in this community, I chose to start a business here, and I wanna stay here, I wanna make this area better, but I wanna know what this area is gonna do for the people.
Yeah, so, well, I will tell you that we have a trace of PFAS in one of the wells and it's currently not operational, or is it below? Tyler, can you guys answer that? Well 3?
Yeah, well, 3, it's not operational.
It's not we had a trace of PFAS, which was under the allowable limit that we could have kept it open and we could be drinking that, but we shut that down and we're going with this chlorinated system for PFASs. Other than that, you're giving me information I'm unaware of, so I promise you I will.
No, absolutely, and I'm happy to I don't.
No, I promise you, I'm gonna research it, but to let you know what we are doing is we entered into a few years back, we used, Infomark, or then it became, it was Severn Trent and Infomark. We've been with them, our operator now since, I think it was 1994. Our agreement with Infomark comes up on, January of 2028, but we have to give them a year's notice. And we are gonna give them a year's notice, because we're gonna put this out and try to get it.
Okay, that's what I wanna know,
We
that's what
are.
I'm not hearing is what is
Yes.
the action to actually
Yeah,
move
so,
us forward, right? I'm not hearing that, I'm hearing, hey, you're gonna pay more, and everybody's like, oh, it's $1 here, it's $1 there. Not every family can do that. I know.
yeah, we're,
And you're talking about 5 years of consecutive rate increases every 3 months, that's adds up.
yeah, so we're gonna look at, putting that out on bid to see what the operators are out there. And I would tell you, if it was up to me solely, I would like to be out of the water and sewer business altogether and selling it to a, competent team. But for me, I think at some point municipalities, it's gonna be one system. It'll be one system. The cost of, the PFASs, we went through the cryptosporidium issue and still, you're only using UV light to, I don't want to necessarily say the word kill that, but what you're doing is you're only making it not reproduce when you drink it. You still have this in your system, but when you drink it, it's not going to reproduce in your system, which is kind of crazy. I think it's getting very difficult, the system. Thank you for your comments. Anyone else? Chief?
Jago, 8 Heather Court.
Yes, sir.
2 things. Number one is social media. Don't trust anything you read on it. There's a big allegation that it has something to do with hookup fees. I understand that is not the case. And I think that most of the citizens in the town of Elkton need to know that, not be swayed by the anti-development crowd. The second thing is on the bills. I'd like to see them broken out where it says water, sewer, trash. So when people see that it went up, it's the water that went up, and, or it's the sewer that went up. So there's a breakdown. And maybe on the next couple of quarters, explain on the bill exactly what, this increase is gonna cover.
So you probably haven't received your new bill, but we did change that.
Yep.
So now it'll say water, it'll say, wastewater or sewer? Sewer, trash, save the bay fee, right? It'll all be spelled out, there may eventually be a Singerly Fire Company fee on there, but,
But explain why this
will.
increase is gonna be, so that way it takes all this nonsense out.
everyone calls it your water bill.
And don't forget to address the hookup fees, because that fires me up when I read the stuff on the media and it's untrue.
Yeah, so we always talk about the hookup fees, and there was a, court date a few years ago that we can collect hookup fees, but you gotta use them for that specific project today. So if you were to collect X amount of dollars out of this development over here, it can only be used for, I've got it actually written here, strictly for funding future capacity expansions. And it can be used for that, but if you don't use it for that infrastructure of the building of that development at that time, you got a 5-year window where you have to give the money back. It was an Annapolis law that was, recently, was challenged, and, the municipality, I think it was the city of Annapolis, it was either Annapolis or Crownsville, actually had to give some money back. But it has no bearing on the rate. So I think that might be the comment you was wanting.
I'll make sure to comment that in social media.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else have any comments? Yes, ma'am.
Darlene Grace, Patriots Glen. I think that what I learned today is I'm a family of 2, and I'm yelling at my partner, knock it off with the laundry. Stop using, all this water. I gotta keep this bill down, not knowing that I'm really paying way over what a family of 2. I didn't understand that before this meeting, and I understand you young ladies. I'm thinking, I'm trying to reduce my expenses. I'm trying to be environmentally conscious. And here I can just go and use as much as I want, not bothering my partner, yelling at him, circuit. But that's what I kind of learned.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to go over the minimum.
You don't want to go over the minimum, but you can kind of figure that you're gonna use anywhere from 90 to 120 gallons a day, the average household. That's kind of, the EDU is what they use. And a family of 4 might be times 4, but a family of 2 should be times 2 on that. So if you take that number and you're at, if you're using the average amount, you're at 3,000 times 2, 6,000 gallons is probably kind of the magic number.
Well, I think we were really, really tightening our belts because, food is up, gas is up, every place I go has a bill. I'm
Yeah.
pumping my own gas up in,
You can use 9,000 gallons.
I'm pumping my own gas up in, North Wilmington, and they have a tip jar. But thank you for
Thank you.
explaining that respectfully.
Thank you.
I do like your thoughts on being environmentally conscious. I think that if everyone was, we'd be processing a lot less water. And in the end, that may help everybody.
It does. It
So,
does.
yes, I commend you for that. I try to do the same thing myself, to be honest with you.
All right, well,
Any other comments?
thank you.
Yes,
Can I
ma'am.
ask one more
Yes.
question? On the last bill I got, it didn't say my usage. Is that going back on the bill?
The usage should be on the bill. If it didn't, please come in and see Tyler's team but it should state it at there's a 1 line across the top and it'll tell you your actual usage. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yeah, the bill I got in, July didn't have that on there.
Yeah, come on in. we'll take a look at that. What was your address again?
605 Maryland Avenue.
Very good. Aaron?
Hi, everybody, Aaron Wright, again, 43 Hickory Lane, Elkton, Maryland. This is kind of like a perfect storm, so I just wanted to make a cautionary comment. I know the county right now, Ashton Point is a very hot topic, and Ashton, I think is using artesian water, and with water infrastructure for the 500 and so, 740 homes, whatever the case is. To the gentleman's comment earlier, social media, I hate to see my town kind of get wrapped into that, but like, oh, Artesian's coming in doing that, Elkton's paying for it, so I just want to say that maybe a better explanation to, not everybody here, because we all heard, and online, but maybe the community at large here for the town to save some harassment.
Thank you. Okay, any other comments? All right, you guys we can introduce this. We have a motion to introduce, ordinance 4-2026.
You see Sarah Guns has her hand raised.
All right, I'm looking online. Sarah Guns, you have a comment? I'm looking online. Sarah Guns, you have a comment?
Yes, and it's a comment that's been made already, that I just want to support that comment of, I'm using under 4,000 gallons, or, hold on, I have my bill with me. My last bill, we only used 3,600 gallons in our house, and I've been a member of the community since 2007, and I've never paid above the minimum, and I'm definitely getting billed for the full minimum. And I don't drink my water, so it doesn't taste good, and paying more for water that I can barely shower in because of the smell, it's upsetting to me. So I would love to see a different way of raising or adjusting to make more money with the water to break even, as opposed to just raising everybody's rates.
Thank you. Thank you. All right.
I got one.
Yes, ma'am.
Carol Moss from Gray Mountain Circle. Her comment about the smell, I have a very, very strong chlorine smell. I can't drink the water. And when I take a shower sometimes, it's actually slimy, the water. And I don't know why. And a very strong chlorine, so.
Carol, call our guys and have them come out and take a look at that.
Yeah.
Okay? Thank you. Okay, do we have a motion to accept, for introduction purposes only, ordinance 4-2026?
I move that, we present the introduction only for the water increase, ordinance 4-2026.
We have a motion
I'll second.
and a second. Any discussion from the board? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
That's introduction.
Introduction only. And I'd say, let's not bring it back up until, the 19th, and then we'll take a look at it. And hopefully, if anyone else has any comments in the community, they can come into the next two meetings.
Yeah.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, I guess I'm up. We have a couple different things here. We were able to recognize, our town administrator, Louis George, for 50 years of service. As well as we had Gene Minner, who served with the town for 35 years. It was kind of a special event that, we had one of our own, Ed Dow, who, if you've never seen his artwork, he does a phenomenal job of, putting together awards. Now, part of me is, I want to be able to give these awards and this look to everyone that retires from our town from here on out. So we got to get Ed to start making them now, maybe make 50 of them, so we can have them for all our next employees that retire. But I would like to ask the board, if it's okay, if we can ask those two to bring back their awards and place it into the hallway here, so that people can take a look when they come into the meeting, the quality of the artwork of Ed Dow, and to recognize, of course, Louis and Gene. And we'll do that maybe for several months, and then we'll give them back their stuff. Are you good?
Okay,
Are you good?
because it was their idea.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was a loan.
yeah, I don't think we would want to keep it here permanently, something that recognizes them, but I would like for people to see Ed's artwork. It's beautiful. You guys good with that?
Yeah.
Kathleen, could you, reach out to him? Thank you.
But then you gotta give it back to me so we can start welcome to Elkton.
Yes, that's right. That's getting close, isn't it? I wanted to, thank everyone that participated in the National Night Out. I have to tell you, I shot down, did a real quick, to everyone's tent. Wonderful, wonderful.
They did a great job and the community really showed up, all of our community resources. It was great to be able to have that in town, and I really enjoyed the new location, and pretty much everyone there said the same thing.
I loved it. I loved it there at Gilpin. And how many folks you think turned out?
Don't know, I don't think it was quite, now, of course, we couldn't do it last year, we didn't really have the staffing to be able to coordinate that. We were very grateful that, Officer Devine, he really coordinated that.
Yeah.
Worked, tirelessly to do that, he did a fantastic job, he really did.
It was absolutely wonderful.
And I
Thank you.
think the location was better than previous years. I think
Yes.
parking, the circle of the tents, the kids, where to walk, it was good.
Yeah, we didn't have to worry about the kids walking across the,
Correct.
the roadway to get to other events, so it was all to be. Going swimming in the creek. We didn't have to worry about rain the day before, yeah. The DPW brought their tent out, and Alicia with the Alliance helped us out. Angela Jaffe's with the Governor's Office of, Crime Prevention and Privacy was there.
It was absolutely wonderful.
Carol came back.
Carol was there. I thought Carol was coming back to the town. I loved it.
It was amazing. I gotta tell you, it broke my heart, because I was looking forward to it. I watched it, set up and everything. And then I got stuck in Wilmington till 7:30. So I'm coming down the road as fast as I can. And I got there, it was like 5:08, and everybody was just about, everybody was broken down and gone. But I will tell you this, between last night and today, I have gotten 10 phone calls about how wonderful it was. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, like, thanking me like I had something to do with it, but I explained to them. You all do. But the feedback, I've never heard feedback like that before. So, thank you for that,
Yes.
everybody.
It was great. Tyler, I believe you're working on this, but I just wanted to bring it up and kind of get the blessing from the board. We currently have, termite inspections or pest inspections. And I think that we're paying, like monthly for a service. I think it might warrant us putting this out on a bid for our local, termite inspectors to bid on this, because I hear from each of them, how come we never get an opportunity? And I know it's something that we've never put out on bid anyhow. I think it's just been a service of what we do. But maybe take a look at that, maybe, are you guys okay if we?
You want more than termite inspection, right?
Yeah, whatever we're doing, but, yeah, rodent inspection, but part of me is, I don't necessarily think that they need to be here monthly,
I don't either.
right? I don't think we need like a monthly thing, but maybe once a quarter, but maybe you can put something together for us. Dan, how's the paving contract coming?
I did a initial preview going on with it. I'm fine tweaking it now. I'll give it to the board the review by the end of the month.
Perfect. Yeah, hopefully we got John Adams on there,
Huh?
John Adams Street.
Oh.
Gene, you're gonna be at the planning commission on Monday? Will you make it?
That's up there.
Okay,
Why?
well, I know that, the parcel off of Walnut, or off of 213 is coming in. I saw it on the planning commission agenda,
Really?
the
Yeah.
concept.
Well, no, it's preliminary.
Preliminary. I'd just like to put a comment in, if you're there, Valamis Liquor Store, he's gonna be there, Anthony Valamis is gonna be there. you know, that intersection at 213 and, 279 probably was designed in 1970, 75. There's been increased traffic onto that. I would like to, once during this preliminary for this project up here, I think there needs to be some improvements at that intersection based on the traffic that's gonna come down through there. Currently and he'll bring this up, I'm just kind of, mentioning this to you in advance, that, with the amount of traffic today as it is, if you go into the Llamas store, it's very difficult to even get back out on 213. Probably the same thing with Enzo's on the other side. It's probably pretty difficult to get through.
It is.
So maybe that'll be part of the
Do
discussion.
you want that brought up as,
Yeah.
as the board concern?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think they could
because,
require that developer to
um,
make some improvements down there.
I know it was part of the original discussion on concept, but since then, Eric, I'm not sure if you're even there yet. I mean, if the traffic study has even come through? Or,
I'll have to check on that for you, but it should be noted that, both those roads are under the purview of the State Highway Administration.
right,
So they would have to, be the ultimate individual to determine what, if anything, needs to be done to improve that intersection.
yes, okay, thank you.
Very good. I think in our, donations, Tyler, we have, we've always given the Elkton VFW a donation. I think it's been of $1,000. And we want to make sure that we support the, Charlie McCoy, outing that they're getting ready to host. I think everyone up here knew Charlie McCoy, and they changed the, name of that tournament to the Charlie McCoy tournament. And I think that all of us here would support that. So, I'll get you over the details for that. And, Singerly Fire Company, have you received any of the information from them yet at this point?
No.
Very good. So we asked, and the chief did reach out to me when I was on vacation, so I'm gonna try to meet with the Chief Hill again. But, we need to get that information, of course, right? All right, and the last thing by me is the American Legion Rider Cecil Post 15 is having a car, truck, and bike show on August the 22nd from 3:30 to 7:30. And it's gonna be kind of on the upper part of Main Street, right?
If Main Street is closed from, the American Legion to the courthouse that day.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty exciting.
Wow.
Gonna be pretty exciting. I'm actually glad that we're including them a little bit into this. Gene, you are on.
I'm good.
You're good, Charles.
The chief is here. Chief, on early Saturday morning, was there a robbery or thieves patrolling or going through Delancey Village? And you may not know, but anyhow, and I don't think he will mind me saying his name, but a guy, when you go out to Delancey Village, the first house to the left, his name is Jeff Dean. He was saying, and of course, the police supposed to arrive after a call, but there were young individuals out there with black on, with a mask. He himself, I don't know how many other cars were violated, but he has his car and his wife's car. He said he don't know why the one vehicle of his did not have its siren to go off, but even his wife's car, evidently the thieves left, I guess either through the police arriving or what have you, and then there was a screwdriver stuck in his wife when you try to open the vehicle. And he said that 2 or 3 people, I don't know who they are because you may need to see them. They have video of the guys running and maybe some of the action that they were taking place with.
We did have a couple, vehicles tampered with. I didn't know specifically that, it happened at Delancey Village. I don't remember all the locations.
Yeah, well, he
What
called
we've been
me.
asking for, we have been asking for DNA, from the owners of the vehicles and anybody who might regularly drive or be in them as a elimination source, so that we can have them out do that. Some people are reluctant to do that, and I understand that. But then we do have some that did provide that for us, so we are, working with the state labs to try to get some of that process. But, I didn't know about this one specifically, but I could check, I do know that there's a couple across town.
Jeff Dean would be his name. And while I'm at this spot, I think we all received some information, was it from Dan or who it was from? There was a request to have a basketball court out there. I think we were all given the measurements and, what have you. You all recall that? So where do we go with that from here? If at all?
I think Dan was waiting for a direction from us, right? But I will respectfully tell you that I'm in the process of getting something in writing, another, proposal. Quote,
Okay.
if you don't mind. It should be here probably by the end of the week. I was hoping I'd have it for tonight's meeting, but it didn't happen, and I apologize. But I can get something to you, and then we can take whatever comes through with what Dan provided, and maybe you guys can handle that next meeting.
Yeah, sounds good.
When you're looking at some big old things being used to follow first.
Well, my concern was just about one, insurance and two, ownership. What would it look like if there were, well, is it an HOA that owns the property and then, possible insurance liability there? Because there was initially a conversation about whether or not this was just a portable basketball rim that was to be brought there by a couple of, kids, or is this something that was gonna be constructed by the town, it's permanent, but then requires maintenance, and then,
Was it on our land or not our land?
that's what I'm not sure about, like,
It's town property.
it is town
Yeah,
property.
Al and Eric looked into it. It's definitely our property.
Okay,
And I think the consensus, unofficial consensus, was to make it permanent.
Yeah.
That way that there's no liability with kids bringing in their own stuff.
that's what I would recommend.
Okay. And then other liability would be the same coverage, I believe, that we currently have with our other parks.
Exactly.
Okay. That help?
I'm done.
Okay.
Earl?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask the board, to support, there's an event, taking place August the 23rd. They had it last year, E-Town Barbershop Community Day. I think, unfortunately, helped us out a little bit. I think last year it was over 200 some people that attended, and it turned out to be a nice event. But Corey, I guess will come down with paperwork sometime this week.
When is it?
But it's August the 23rd, from 12 to 6, right by the church. We shut the street.
It's on a
It's really
Sunday.
getting Collins Street, but anyway, they want to make sure that it was done properly. So I just wanted to introduce that, ask for a donation from the board.
I just wanna make sure you can get out of church at that.
DJ.
There
There you go. So anyway, yeah, maybe get,
Yeah.
okay, that's all I had.
Robert?
I thought that the National Night Out was a huge success. I got there very late, but had a lot of positive feedback. And I'd like to commend Officer Devine for a great job of coordinating. I'm sure he had a lot of help. You guys are always got your hand in everything, the Elkton Alliance. Great job. And on my way out of the field, I ran into Betty Dean, who is the coordinator for Toys for Tots. And she asked me to pass along word that this Sunday at 10 a.m. at the Toys for Tots building in the Elk Mall, they're going to be having their backpack giveaway. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Well, this is the time we open up the floor for anyone that has anything to say for the good of the town. If you do, stand up and say your name again.
Darling Grace, Patriots Glen.
Yes,
I
sir.
apologize for my lack of knowledge, but do you put out bids for trash?
We had the trash bid, which we accepted. I think it runs for 2 years, Dan, or is it a 3-year?
It was originally a 5-year, it's a
5-year.
5-year deal and then 1-year option lease, it's fine with that one.
So we probably have about 3 years left on that trash. We put it out, we used to be with Waste Management. We had an opportunity to renew with Waste Management. In hindsight's 2020, and we probably should have. But we had so many complaints from the residents that they weren't doing a very good job, so we put it out on bid, and we got stuck with about $100,000 more than we could have probably got the bid for.
Mayor, Waste Management is out of the, business, they're out of the residential, so.
They are out of
Waste
it.
Management put a bid in, they said they want, they just.
They didn't even bid on it,
Correct, yes,
but we got a couple more years on that.
yes.
Okay, all right.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Sam Moore. I live over on Blue Street. I'm bringing back up in regards to the boards, and finding out information more about that. I know that I put in some information
Yes.
previous to that. I also want to acknowledge Alicia, who's here, who does an amazing job at Elkton Alliance. She's amazing. She needs a plaque on the wall. Thank you.
Alicia, can you use Sam as a volunteer on your board?
Sam and I have talked.
I think that would be great if you could get involved in our economic development side of things, of the town. Currently, Kathleen, you can check for me, but I don't believe we have any openings. We appointed, we had one for the Board of Appeals, and we had probably 5 in front of you. And we, just appointed that position.
But I thought someone had approached you to be on one of the boards here, did they not?
No.
You didn't talk to me about the mayor or somebody, I forget what it was, that, wanted to appoint you to a board?
So I didn't speak to anybody directly.
Okay.
Because you guys had to get.
Okay, are you
back to
still
me in
willing?
regards to that.
Yeah, he came to a couple meetings ago. Yeah,
That's why I asked.
I think it'd be a great addition. Thank you. Anyone else? Chuck?
Chicago, like, down in Kensington Courts, Whitehall Road. Right after you get past the Southfield Shopping Center. County Road, for, 200-300 feet. Tried to get them to fill a pothole for the longest time. Several of the neighbors popped their tires. Finally, thank God for Public Works, one of their guys dropped the plug in there. But it would be nice to get that annexed in, particularly since it affects everything within Kensington Courts and the new development too.
And I will make this so everyone can hear this. We've asked to take over that section of Whitehall Road. The county has been reluctant to give us that little section because they want to have a little bit of control on what's happening over at Southfields. And it really makes no sense. It makes no sense. But Al, could you put another request and ask them, maybe they've changed their mind? If you notice, they made us block up that little back entrance into those apartments because they felt that we weren't authorized to let people have traffic go out on the Whitehall.
Well, part of me doesn't want to widen it.
No,
Because
you just want us
speed
to take it
problem.
over and service it.
It's
We'd
now-
be happy to. I want it. I think it's the right thing to do.
Yep.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone on the Zoom meeting? Yes, Sarah Guns.
Just yours
Yes,
truly.
Sarah.
So Sarah Guns, Quail Court, Hollingsworth Landing Association in partnership with MRDC and the Judy Center and a number of other community partners is hosting a back to school jam this Friday from 5 to 7 at the Head Start on the MRDC building. Everyone is welcome. There will be food and community partners. Kona Ice will be there. So come out and see what our neighborhood's doing. Take a sneak peek at the Parish Foundation Community Center and the progress that they've made on that. Personally, want to invite the mayors and the commissioners out to our little neighborhood and see what we're doing.
Thank you, Sarah. Alan?
Just wanted to quickly, wish Commissioner Brunel, happy belated 21st birthday.
Oh, thank you.
So, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Very good.
One more.
Appreciate that.
Again?
You got one more?
It's her, third or fourth time this year, her
Yes.
birthday, 21st birthday, I think.
Alicia, I forgot a report, I'm gonna let you stand, as I always do. What's happening downtown? You have a restaurant that's now vacant.
We do have a restaurant that's vacant. The building owner is talking to a few business owners for a possibility of moving in there, and we're just waiting to see where that falls out.
Okay.
so unfortunate to see him leave, but it is what it is.
Bessie, do you think that we need to have a closed meeting to discuss that?
I'm open to discussing it if you, I don't want to throw it back on you, but I think my position's already been articulated in that email. I
Very
feel
good.
Confident that.
I think you guys all read the email about the.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you, everybody.